Hello everyone, I'm 100% me, aka Percy, and I've created a new data pack called Percy's Annotation Kit. Now I think the best way to explain what it does is to actually show you is by just looking at this paper. As you can see, it has a really nice custom name in blue and it's also bold, but if I hover over it, you can see it also has lore. That's right, Percy's Annotation Kit allows you to personalize the style and the color of your custom names and also set lore. And in this showcase video, I'm going to show you exactly how that works, so let's dive in, shall we? Whoosh. To get started with Percy's Annotation Kit, you need an item, any item, I'm grabbing this paper over here, with a custom name. So let's give this a custom name, Fancy Paper. Look at that, that's fancy. That's not quite fancy yet. Once you've got your renamed item, there are two things that we can do. We can choose to color it, or we can choose to give it a style like bold or italics or obfuscated, underlined and strikethrough. For now, I want to start by giving this custom name a really nice color. Now in this chest, you might have already seen it a little bit, I have a special new item called Pigment, and it comes in all the dye colors that there are. You craft it by taking a dye color and an empty bottle, and then in your crafting grid, you put them together just like so to get pigment. In this case, it's lime, but again, it works with any color. We take this out, we put that there. Then what we want to do is we put the item with the custom name in our offhand, just like so. We hold the pigment in our main hand. Now we right click. You will see that it has actually consumed the pigment and given us a glass bottle. And if we put this in our main hand again, you can see that the name is now lime. You can see it probably a little bit better over here, just like this. So just to go over that again, what happened when I clicked the pigment is it set the name to that color, lime in this case. It consumed the pigment, it gave us a glass bottle back. And so that's how you set the color of custom names using Percy's Annotation Kit. Whoosh. Now we want to figure out how we can get them to be bold, just like over here, right? Now to do that, we need to craft another item, which is really special because the Annotation Kit is actually an item that you can craft. Here in the auto crafter, as you can see, I have put down the recipe. You can put this in any way, shape or form that you like, but you need a bundle, a feather, an empty bottle and an ink sac, and that yields this Annotation Kit. Let's press the button to get it, shall we? Now inside your Annotation Kit, what you're going to find is an ink pot and a quill. Let's take those out, shall we? Just like that. Now let's start by talking a little bit about the ink pot. What you're going to notice when I right click it without having any item in my offhand, it's going to cycle through the styles. See, I'm right clicking now. You can see now it says Strikethrough. This is hard to read, but this is obfuscated. This is bold, italic, and essentially you're going to get a little preview of what your text is going to look like. So let us select underlined. I want fancy paper here, that name, I want it to be underlined. And so the way that it works with this ink pot now is set to underlined. I can put this in my offhand, the renamed item, and I can right click, just like I did with the pigment. And now you will see that fancy paper has a line under it. And again, here you can see it just a little bit better. But what if I also want it bold? Well, I can set the ink pot to bold just like this. I can put the item again in my offhand, right click the ink pot, and now as you can see, it's also bold. It's pretty simple. It means that you can combine all the styles that you want. So let's do obfuscated, shall we? There we go. Now you cannot read this anymore. And what I should mention is that this works as a toggle as well. So if I put this in my offhand again and I right click the ink pot again with the one that I want to undo now selected, you can see it is no longer obfuscated, right? There is one tiny little catch that we need to talk about here. To demonstrate, let me grab another piece of paper. You will notice if I give this a custom name, like so, this renders as italics, right? It's a little bit sideways versus this is just straight, this is sideways. What's important to note is that Minecraft doesn't actually give it the data to make it look italic. It's just like, well, that's a custom name, that has to be italic then, I suppose. And because of that, if I set this to italic and I trigger this, it's actually enabling it at the first time. And so visually, nothing seems to change. And then I can click it again to properly disable it, so that there is a little something to keep in mind. Whoosh. Now let's put this away for now and go back to our fancy paper that we have over here and talk about the quill, about what the quill can actually do. You might already actually guess it, because I did say this data pack lets you set lore, and that's exactly what the Quill does. It takes whatever you set for the custom name with all the styling and everything, and if you put this in your offhand, the Quill in your main hand, you right click, you will notice that this now has the name that it had as the lore of the item. And so what that means, if you want to set the lore and a custom name, you will need to set the lore first before you set the custom name. Now there's something else you can do here. Let's grab another color. Let's do yellow. If I give this another custom name, I just named it some more lore, so you can probably guess what's about to happen. I give this some beautiful styling, make it yellow. Look at that. Now I have a yellow custom name that says some more lore. I put this in my offhand. I triggered a Quill. You can see that it actually sets the custom name below the already existing lore, which means you can have multiple lines of lore on this. And really, the only limitation that I can tell about this is that the anvil, let's do some keyboard smashing here, the anvil actually has a limit of, I believe, 50 characters. And so if you want lore that is more than those 50 characters, you will need to set separate lines. Now let's add this really long name as the lore, shall we? And zoop, just like that. And as you can see, it's added it. You will notice it's purple now too. Minecraft by default, if it doesn't have a color, it will set the lore as purple. Whoosh. And so that is Percy's Annotation Kit. We have all this pigment in all the 16 Minecraft dye colors to set the color of a custom name of any item. Doesn't have to be limited to paper. And then you can also craft an annotation kit, which comes with a ink pot and a quill. The ink pot lets you set the style of the custom name of your item, and the quill sets that custom name as the lore. So you'll want to use that last. Percy's Annotation Kit will be available for download from Modrinth. There will be a link in the description. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!